I think we've stressed the importance of being right with ourselves and coming to these new situations, being agile, and how we need to show up in these moments. Something that I've struggled with and that I've realized is that you can't ever control anyone else's priorities or mission critical. So often people are going to come to you and say, "Oh, Hilke, this has to be done right away. This is of dire importance." And when in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. I think one of the catch-22s of wisdom is, you start to realize what actually is of exceptional importance and what isn't. But yet sometimes people will still come to you like things are on fire, and they're really not. Now, you can't tell them, this isn't really all that important. It's not as important as you're making it out to be, right? You've got to make sure that that person feels seen and heard. But at the same token, you've also got to maintain your priorities. How do you think we as leaders should help set the right expectations with those that come to us with these on fire, quote unquote, situations, but also like maintain our own and the priorities of those that we serve amidst all that noise?
I love it. So when people come with fire, they often are on fire themselves. And it's often their ego that's on fire. Not always. Often I find in big organizations, it's the CEO or the SVP somewhere said something and everybody's like, and then when you check back with the CEO, like, is that what you meant? Sometimes, yes, but very often, no, right? And yet, in that moment, you can't tell your boss, go find, go meditate for half an hour and talk to me again. You can't. I mean, maybe nice. You can, but that probably is not going to work for most people. So here's how I think about that. One is, like you said, be in total acceptance of what the other person is. You're not going to change where the other person is. Never will be able to do that. Never. You can't do that. You don't control it. So total acceptance. And so then, and at that moment, you receive what the other person's saying, and you create a way to go on the balcony and slow down the brain waves. The fast brain waves are all about multi-focus, blah, 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 like not very wise. Let's take a moment. It's almost like, let's take a look at this, almost like take a walk together, even when you sit in the conference room. It's like, so Jim, I hear you say that this has to be done by this afternoon. Otherwise, all wheels are going to fall off. Is that correct? Yeah. So just hold up the mirror. It's like, okay. So can you tell me more about that? So you slow down, whatever questions you need to ask, just to get a sense of what Jim's seeing, right? And then you say, well, Jim, I'd like to, of course, I'd like to help you. At the same time, I also want to honor other commitments that I have. And maybe we can take a look at those together. Because if we do this priority A by 5 o'clock this afternoon, that means that this and that will not or will happen less. Help me make this prioritization. Something like that. Now,
beautiful.
Some people that are like on bomb fire, they're gone. And then, something you just, do what you have to do, and you make your own prioritizations. Like, okay, well, I'm making a choice. I'm going to either disappoint this person and live with the consequences, or I'm going to make some reprioritization myself. But I'm going to make that choice. But I'm not going to do it thinking I didn't have a choice. I'm making a conscious choice. That to me is key.
I like that.